Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Pauline Verzosa. The tropical depression, formerly known as Romina, continues to move northwestward out of the Philippine area of responsibility. And to get the latest on this, we have our mobile journalist Francis Orsio joining us live this morning. Francis, nasaan na nga ba ang bagyo at may epekto pa rin ba ito sa bansa? Francis? All right, we will be checking in with Francis again later on in the program. Meanwhile, the health department conducted inspections in hospitals over the weekend. Health authorities checked the hospitals' emergency and isolation rooms. They also ensure that hospitals have enough medicine supplies and frontliners. Health Secretary Ted Herbosa said they are monitoring not just firecracker-related injuries, but also what he calls as holiday heart syndrome.
We need to increase awareness about the holiday heart syndrome. But if you read about all the risks of illnesses during the holiday season, kasama rin talaga yung, if you eat too much, every day nagpa-party ka, and you eat too much rich foods, eventually, ang bumibigay yung puso mo, di ba? People end up with a heart attack.
Health Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo explains PhilHealth's funding process, particularly on the usage of its reserve funds. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
Bakit nga ba, I mean, what is there to understand about the money that PhilHealth has, and is it spending its money efficiently?
So, tama yung pagkaintindi mo, Gretchen. You understood correctly. However, I regret that how they communicated it is not the right way. Insurance contract liabilities, or ICL, as it's becoming popularly known, you can compute it many ways. Yes, it is required among all insurance agencies, pero hindi kasi lahat ng insurance pare-pareho eh. Meron kang pension fund, in which case, pag ikaw, pumirma ka ng insurance contract, sinabi na, life insurance, that's you said, life insurance, I'm gonna pay premiums, diba, for a certain number of years, and then when I pass away, which is the concept of life insurance, your beneficiaries get it, whatever the face value is. That's not how PhilHealth is. PhilHealth is actually a pay-as-you-go social health insurance fund. The ICL for PhilHealth should be less, much less than 1.1 trillion. Ladies, yeah, exactly, diba? Here's the problem. Ang tingin kasi ng karamihan is dapat yung reserba, as it's popularly known, reserba ng PhilHealth, sagarin natin yung 1.1 billion kasi hindi natin alam, baka kailanganin natin hanggang tumanda tayo. However, kayo ba, when you have health insurance, do you just pay once in your life and then you don't pay again the next year? Every time you pay each year, it is assumed that someone else used what you paid. Sabi nga sa paluwagan, di ba, pag naghulog ka, may gagamit na kasi hindi ka nagkasakit that year. But in another year, na naghulog tayong lahat at ikaw naman yung nagkasakit, ikaw yung tatanggap ng tulong ng PhilHealth. That's how it should be. And at the end of the year, as much as possible, 0-0, except for a 2-year reserve. Now, what's a 2-year reserve? The 2-year reserve is computed by looking at the program expenditures for 2 years. And when the board reviewed the program expenditures for the past 5 years, 2019 up to 2023, it was only at 140 billion per year. So 140 times 2 is 280. So 600 is too high. By law, it should only be 280.
Okay, but I think, Dr. Domingo, I think naman we all understand yung sentiments ng tao. Also, where it's coming from, I myself, I contribute to PhilHealth personally. And I tried to kind of one time I got hospitalized. I think I got 6,000 or 8,000 pesos back. But my bill was like a lot higher than that.
How much was your bill?
It was
Roughly?
maybe, I think, 70,000.
Oh, there you go. Diba? I mean, 10%. That's actually the problem. Pag binalik natin yung unused funds, sige nga, kaya bang pondohan ng PhilHealth yung 50% ng bill mo? That's the data. You see, I'm looking at your faces right now, ladies. That's the problem. The more we say, ibalik ang pera sa PhilHealth, the more you incentivize behavior that, the money is coming back and I don't need to spend it.
Well, going back to our top story, Tropical Depression Romina continues to move northwestward out of the Philippine area of responsibility. And to get the latest on this, we have our mobile journalist Francis Orsio joining us. Francis, nasa na ba ang bagyo at may epekto pa rin ba ito sa bansa?
Yes, po dito ang Tropical Depression Romina na kahit hindi siya pumasok sa Philippine Area of Responsibility ay patuloy pa rin na nakakaapekto ngayon sa bansa. And as of 5 in the morning, nasa layong 165 kilometers ito sa may Kalayaan o sa may Palawan na region. So sa ngayon, patuloy na lumalayo na ito sa bansa and nakikita natin na kahit lumalayo siya ay lalakas pa rin siya by this afternoon up to tropical storm and patuloy pa rin yung trough na makakaapekto dito sa may area ng Palawan, Pauline.
Okay, Francis, bukod dito kay Romina, may iba pa ba tayong minomonitor na LPA na malapit sa PAR?
Sa ngayon, Pauline, wala tayong ibang sama ng panahon na namomonitor sa loob at labas ng Philippine Area of Responsibility kahit yung low pressure area. Pero yung patuloy na minomonitor at binabantayan natin ngayon yung epekto ng shear line at ng northeast monsoon. Kasi kahit na meron tayong bagyo at nakakaapekto din ito sa Palawan. Pero itong iba pang weather system ay patuloy na nagbubuhos ng malalakas na ulan. Kaya kung makikita at mapapansin natin sa ibang mga balita, nakakaranas na ng mga pagbaha itong areas ng Eastern Visayas, particularly yung summer provinces dahil doon sa epekto ng shear line. At yan yung talagang nakakaapekto ngayon sa malakas na pag-ulan sa mga areas na yan sa may Eastern Visayas, Pauline.
Okay, Francis, hanggang kailan naman natin mararamdaman yung pag-ulan? Magiging maulan ba yung Pasko natin sa susunod na mga araw?
Base sa inilabas na weather advisory, Pauline, ng Pag-asa, nakikita natin na hanggang sa December 25, makakaranas tayo ng mga moderate to heavy rains or up to 100 millimeters na pag-ulan hanggang sa December 25 dahil dito sa epekto pa rin ng shear line at ng northeast monsoon at yung mga areas na pinaka-maaapektuhan yan, itong silangang bahagi ng Visayas, itong Bicol region, kasi itong mga nasa bahagi ng eastern part ng Luzon na nakaharap sa may Philippine Sea or dito sa may Pacific Ocean, sila yung sumasalubong dito sa epekto ng dalawang weather systems, itong ang northeast monsoon at shear line. Kaya yung mga probinsya sa Cagayan Valley, dito sa may Quezon Province, sa may Aurora, and dito din sa may bahagi ng Mimaropa and Bicol region, talagang ito yung makakaranas sa mga pag-ulan sa mga susunod na araw pa, Pauline.
Okay, naku, magiging gloomy ang Pasko natin hanggang December 25. Pero for now, maraming salamat para sa update na yan. That was mobile journalist Francis Orsio. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Fuging Berzosa. Let's now take a quick look at today's other headlines. In the Philippine Star, the Bangko Sentral will start circulating limited quantities of its first polymer banknote series starting today. The central bank says 70 to 90 million pieces are allocated for each of the 500, 100, and 50 peso denominations. And in business world, vehicle sales in the Philippines jumped by 8.5% in November, mainly due to higher demand. An industry report showed vehicle sales rose to nearly 40,900 units from just 37,000 units in the same month in 2023. Christians in Syria are preparing for Christmas with a different festive mood 2 weeks after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Catholics in downtown Damascus enjoyed Mass and communion at the Lady of Damascus Church. The narrow alleys were decorated with Christmas lights, while children flocked to the Christmas market. Syrian Catholics said their Christmas wish is for the next government to be as bright as everyone wishes. Meantime, Germans continue to mourn after a Saudi doctor drove into a Christmas market in the city of Magdeburg and killed 5 people over the weekend. Mourners lit candles and placed flowers outside a church near the market. Authorities identified the suspect as a 50-year-old doctor who has lived in Germany since 2006. Aside from the 5 deaths, 200 people were injured from what authorities called a deliberate attack. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega expressed confidence that Donald Trump's mass deportation plan is unlikely to significantly affect undocumented Filipinos in the United States. Here's an excerpt from his interview on The Big Story.
Out of the 271,000 that were deported, how many Filipinos were included in that list?
No, we don't have the data on that right now, but let me clarify. We have to emphasize a point. Everybody has been acting very concerned or scared about what would happen to the undocumented Filipinos once President-elect Donald Trump takes over exactly a month from now. Let us remember, we have to put it in perspective. During the campaign, when he was talking about massive deportations, he was specifying a certain kind of overstaying or illegal alien. Number one, criminals, because he was always accusing a lot of these foreigners without legal stay of having committed crimes against Americans. Number two, security risks, because there was the allegation that some may have entered from terrorist groups around the world. And mostly, he was targeting those foreigners who were brought in by President Biden and who are not actually contributing to the U.S. economy because all they do is receive social welfare. The Filipinos, legal or even illegal, do not fall under those categories. So I would like to emphasize, there is no reason for now to be overly concerned, because if we actually keep talking about it, we will just be raising attention to ourselves, to the fact that there are 300,000 overstaying Filipinos. So the trick is for our Filipinos who are not overstaying to simply continue doing their work and to be law-abiding residents, even though they're not documented in the United States. I can tell you the statistics do show that there were more people who were deported, including more Filipinos deported during the Obama administration than the previous 4-year administration of President Trump.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Pauline Verzosa. We are One News.